Gold. It is a revered element. It is the medal given to the top finisher. It represents wealth. For the 5 remaining players in the 5th leg of the Philippine Poker Tour, gold is the end-all, be-all goal. Fittingly set against the backdrop of the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club, which one will walk away with the 330,000 peso top purse and get that 5th seat in the Clash of the Titleists, where the winner books a seat to the main event of the World Series of Poker 2013? Will it be Carlos Cortez, the online practitioner whose coin flips have been rewarded thus far? Will it be the masked man, Ernie Batalia, whose exploits in the high-stakes arena have been close to legendary? Will it be Danny Najad, the Iranian student who could just be the first foreigner to win a PPT leg? Will it be Davao's Augie Nasser, the solid tournament specialist who seemingly makes the right moves at the right time all the time? Or will it be Lester Edoc, one of the most feared cash game players in the country, who many say is long overdue to win a major title? 5 men, 5 stories, 5 dreams, 1 ambition. Who gets the gold? Find out next. And here's our chip count with 5 players left. Lester Edoc in command. What has happened to Carlos Cortez?
Nemesis has played pretty much a shoving pre-flop game. He's doubled up when he had a hand, and when he doesn't have a hand, he's slowly blinded and ante-down again. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but I hope it's at least been fun for him so far.
5 players left here in our final table. Blinds it up to 12,000, 24,000. Bob Guerrero on the call with Ron Regis. And you don't want to count out any of these players just yet.
Especially not Nemesis, who's proven that he can put all the chips in the middle and double up when he has to. And that's not a cigarette, is it?
Maybe it's a lucky charm.
124.
Augie Nasser is going to raise to 124.
Oh, nobody wants to pot. Augie Nasser makes a play for it with just a big blind to fold out, but Lester is going to defend with a pair in the hole.
The flop is 9-8-6, so Nasser has hit top pair, top kicker, 2 diamonds.
Well, he started out stealing, but now he's betting for value. He's got top pair, top kicker, and a backdoor nut flush draw. So Lester is thinking, is this just a continuation bet, or does Augie actually have something? Can't give up on the first bet when you're playing stacks this deep, and that is definitely not a sign of surrender for Lester. He's gonna call.
Queen of clubs on the turn, and what does that do to the action?
Well, Augie had top pair, top kicker. The queen is plausible as one of the holdings that Lester is calling with. Overcards, diamond draws, straight draws. The queen could hit his range, and Lester has position. But the problem is, yes, Augie cannot just check and get bet out of the spot. He has to fire some kind of probing bet, and that's about the size of it.
And look at this re-raise all in from Lester Edoc.
Wow. This, Bob, is why people are afraid to play against Lester. He can pull a move like this from out of his hat and really, he literally knocked Augie off his seat with that move.
And Edoc is doing this with, well, pretty much air right now.
It's air, but it sure looks like he was sitting on 10 jack when he made that call.
And Augie will make the call.
Oh my!
It's a call!
What a call! Augie saw through the move.
Lester.
Second pair top kicker. Edoc needs a 4.
That is a ballsy, amazing call by Augie. I gotta tell you, that is not an easy call. Not in the least.
With a pair of 9s. Lester needs
A 4 needs to come out. I don't see any other Outs for Leicester, Edoc.
Nothing but a 4. He's got, this is the hand in the cookie jar, and he's gonna lose a few fingers.
It's the biggest pot of the tournament, 1.4 million, and Augie Nasser has now vaulted to the top of the chip count.
High risk, possibly high reward, but no reward in that case for Leicester.
Still here at the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club, only 5 players remaining at the final table. And who's going to make it all the way to heads up? We'll find out with more action only here at the 5th leg of the Philippine Poker Tour.
Today we're going to learn the proper way to bet in poker. Say I have a hand that I want to bet with or raise with. What I need to do is first verbalize that I am going to make the action. So I say, I bet 4,000. And then I take the 4,000 and in one motion, put it in the middle. That is the correct way to bet. Now, there are incorrect ways to bet. For example, if I don't say anything and I put my bet in 2 batches. Put 2,000 and then another 2,000. That is illegal. It is what is known as a string bet because I haven't verbalized anything and I have put my bet in 2 batches. If a tournament director sees that, he will declare the second batch not part of the bet. Now, there is also another kind of rule in poker for betting that we have to understand, and this is called the one-chip call. For example, say there is a previous bet of 200, but I want to raise it to 1,000. Say I just throw my chip in the middle without saying anything. That's actually not a raise, it's actually a call, because in poker, if you don't say anything and you just throw any chip, one chip in the middle, it is a call, it is a one-chip call. That's why it's always best to verbalize, to announce your intention before your chips are in the middle. If you want to learn more about the PPT, just go to thephilippinepokertour.com to find out more about this great poker series that's taken the poker community by storm. And
Fold.
Carlos Cortez
Fold.
and Daddy are not interested. Now it's up to Augie Nasser, King 5 offsuit out of the small blind.
Well, he's not just gonna complete. I mean, it's a
Raise.
blind versus blind battle. He's gonna go put pressure on the big
200
blind,
total.
daring him to put up a fight with him, and we've
Ooh.
been here before. All in really quickly by Leicester, and a quick call by
How
Augie.
about that?
Win call.
Augie Nasser
call.
with a weak kicker for his
Nice.
king is gonna make a snap call.
Well, he started out stealing, and then he
Nine
decided he
favor.
was gonna go with the king high hand.
Okay, Sir Augie.
I am puzzled.
Edoc,
Between
a
Leicester
big
and
favorite now, as
Augie.
long as he can fade that king
Leicester is
on the
with
board.
5 against Augie's
This is
King
just
5
not the kind of hand you want to call. I mean, 383,000 is a lot of chips, but what's worse is when you got a guy on the ropes.
Ooh, 987, 3 of a kind for Edoc.
Little help there. Now there's a gut shot looming for
Another
Augie.
9.
It's
Four of a
another
kind.
9,
That's
wow.
the end of that.
Leicester hits his
And
quads.
Augie Nasser will
Leicester will double up.
Wait, no.
once again be hemorrhaging chips.
And now Leicester has a million. I don't like it. You got a really great player on the ropes. His chip stack is low, and then just like that, you give him a million.
Lester is my name, Edoc is my family name. I'm an Igorot from Baguio. Umpisa ako naglaro ng poker nung sa e-safe pa. Nung kakabukas ng poker atas dito sa Pilipinas. Mark Rivera, ayun ang number 1 idol ko sa poker. Sa lahat, pati sa pagmamanage ng bankroll, sa klase ng paglalaro, klase ng pagkatao. My greatest achievement is when I win high roller at resort, 2 million first prize. Saka yung 3 times champion ko sa Metro, dalawang free roll. Dalawang Mazda, saka 2 million guaranteed. If they're good, I have to play better. If they're better, I have to play best. Ako, dapat di ako natatakot sa kalaban ko. Nire-respeto ko sila, pero dapat hindi ka matatakot. Pag once natakot ka, talo ka na. Yun na.
Welcome back to our final table. Lines are still in the stratosphere. Leicester, Edoc, ace 10. Very useful when you have a big stack.
Very useful when you have only a few players to get through. Opens for raise. Been a flurry of action, Bob. I'm just trying to catch my breath right now. Part of me is hoping this one just goes uncontested, but it's not gonna happen. We are gonna get this flurry. Call!
Oh!
Well, that makes it easy for Leicester. Danny makes a move with well, basically a steal, and runs into a legit hand from Ernie. And what's Leicester gonna do? Should be easy to get out.
He's got to let go of this one. Meanwhile, Augie Nasser has ace-jack.
Goodness, what is going on here?
The poker gods have conspired. Well, Augie's out, and so is Leicester.
Oh, this dealer is trying to end this tourney right here, giving everyone something to go with.
Queens are a big favorite against the suited King 9, the doggy hand of Danny Najad. Flop 4-2-2.
Oh, that's a flush draw looming. So now he's got, count him, 9 plus 3 outs, 12 outs, and 2 cards to try to hit him.
Batalia still the favorite, but he needs to avoid.
Sorry, the queen is not an out. The queen of spades is not an out.
Yeah. 6 of hearts. He needs any spade that is not a queen.
Any spade.
A king will do it too.
Or
Don't
a
forget
king.
about the king. And he's staring it down, trying to will it into existence.
River cards at 10 of clubs.
The river is a 10 of clubs.
And Ernie will go.
And Batalia
460.
takes it down.
Huge spot. Another guy in the 1 million club. And what's Danny have left here?
Not a lot.
Something like 113,000. Not a lot, as you said.
It made Ernie sweat. Look at it.
Flurry of events. I can't keep track of who's chip leader now. Wasn't Ernie like
Lines
a
and
micro stack a
entities.
few hands ago?
Ernie's
Look at
now
this.
around 1 million.
Nice hand, boys. That was
Back and forth seesaw action here at the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club.
Just answer Carlos.
Chips have no loyalty in this place.
Absolutely none. King 3 suited for Carlos.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just chooses to shove that. The way this table has been going, everyone's putting maximum pressure, and this is an example of maximum pressure
All
here.
in.
As much as he can muster with his 189,000. Well, 124,000, sorry.
Sometimes you have to go with any face card, and Jack 3 clubs is enough. Leicester Edoc has ace 5.
Well, good enough for him to call. Figures correctly that Danny's just stealing. As long as he's first in the pot, he's going to put in any 2 cards. Ace is good to call. Here we go. There's the jack.
For queen.
There's the jack. Danny Najad is in the lead.
Let's see the turn card.
Edoc needs to spike an ace on the last 2
A
streets.
10 would do it for him. Any non-club 10. So there's 3 10s that are good for him.
Just a flush draw.
And, well, he doesn't want an ace of clubs now. He just wants any of the other 2 aces.
to avoid elimination.
There is a flush draw for Najad as well. The river is a blank 2 of hearts. And Danny Najad lives to fight on. The student from Iran clinging on to his tournament life wins 313,000.
Welcome to another edition of Reading the Board with me, Bianca Soldua, and pocket aces are still on the menu today, and sometimes you feel like you flop the absolute nuts. However, are you 100% sure about that, even with a board like this? Now, our pocket aces has successfully flopped a full house. And you know, it's tough enough to get pocket aces, and even more so when you flop a full house. You'd probably feel like the queen of the world right now, or in the case of Rebel Magdagasang, the king of the world. But believe it or not, this is not the absolute nuts. Are you shocked? Find out what is after this. Welcome back, and before the break we flopped a full house, but if you played enough hands, you'll know that you'll run into quads every now and then, and surely enough, bam! Right in the kisser, quad fives, a cooler of epic proportions, and according to Ron, it's about time to order eggs over easy because your aces have just become toast.
The action continues here at the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club. 5 players left, none of them wanna
All in.
give up just yet,
No.
and Danny Najad's gonna shove all
Just
in with
stick it in there.
ace-7.
Don't even organize this. Just throw him in there.
Ooh,
Okay.
7s from Lester Edoc.
He's isolated Danny once again. This time he has got the pair already in his hand. And Danny's hunting for that ace. Only an ace can help him at this point. Wait, Nemesis still in there? Okay, he's gone.
Nemesis, of course, is Carlos Cortez.
Danny and Lester,
Pocket 7s, the
players
walking
all in.
sticks against
Lester
ace-7.
tables
So
2 sevens against
Nejad needs an
Danny's
ace
A7.
to get out of this hole.
5 more cards between these two
Ace.
players yet again. All in
Let's see a
pre-flop. And we are going to
Lester's
run the
like that.
board.
Flop is 2 tens
Flop,
and a 5.
2 10s and a
For
5. No help to Nejad.
cards
It's
and
an
ace.
ace in the turn!
Can he keep doubling up off the
Now
same
Danny
guy?
is ahead.
Looks
Let's
like
see
he
a river
can.
card.
Only 1-7 left in the deck,
Turn
and that's
card
not
is
it.
an 8.
And you saw there the frustration on Lester Edoc's
Check the
face
chip
as he bangs the table in dismay.
You got the guy in the ropes, you swing for that big knockout, he ducks and you punch yourself in the nose. What the heck is going on?
Well, you can't blame Danny for shoving there, and you can't blame Lester Edoc for making the call. That's just how the cookie crumbles. And once again, Danny Nejad is right back in the thick of the action with a decent chip stack as he wins 623,000. He had such a huge chip lead at one point, and he doesn't want to go out without a fight. And Lester Edoc very reluctantly handing those chips over. So what does Edoc have to do right now to get back into the groove?
Well, not that he's been doing anything too wrong. I mean, he has called when he was ahead. He's taken shots of knocking out the short stack, which is a great way to play. Things haven't been turning out his way. He just needs to sit back down and keep playing his solid poker game. This hand is over. Move on to the next hand. He's still got a stack in front of him. No need to lose it. These things do happen. The chips gone the Augie's way. They've gone everyone else's way. They've been everywhere in this table, and it's just the guy who holds on, keeps his composure. That's the guy who's gonna keep all the chips in the end.
There's a good look at the microscopic stack of Lester Edoc.
He's not even sitting down anymore. I mean, I know I talked about composure, but 60,000 in chips with the pot already 65 before the deal. It's not really a lot of composure can do for you. Just stick it in
All
there.
in.
Well, that's a decent hand.
He's got made hand. Pocket deuces, and you know the other players have the odds to call with a huge range right now, don't they?
If Nemesis wants to isolate with his hand, I wouldn't call it a bad play at all. He can isolate, reshove over
Call.
him, or he can do that and hope the rest of the
60,000
table calls
total to
and
fold.
they just knock the
Fold.
table till the very end.
King 5 from
30
Ernie
more.
Batalia out of the big blind. He's trying to check out the stacks.
He has to put in 30,000 to make this call, but then he would have to worry about playing post flop with this subpar hand.
You're wondering why he's wearing that mask. He probably isn't feeling too well, but he's probably going to be feeling better the deeper he goes into this tournament.
Well, I noticed the hoodie has been letting more and more air in as he's got more chips in
All
front of him.
in call.
So, is he gonna make this call and play post flop against Nemesis, Carlos Cortez?
Now, does it make sense to call here to give more chances to eliminate the short stack?
Well, that's one way to play it. Just call here and Hope one of you, the two of you, have a hand that
Show
can take
cards.
out Lester, who's a very
Lester
dangerous
show.
player.
Lester and Carlos.
But do you really want to
Pair
risk
of
all
deuces
those
versus
chips?
queen.
Or you just
jack.
want to get out of the way? Getting out of the way is a viable option. That's what Ernie did. And it's up
Lester's
to Carlos.
slightly ahead, pre-flop.
We've got the paint
Flop
against
is eight,
Well,
pocket
nine,
deuces.
ten.
That's how to end the hand right there. Just
Carlos
flop the
hitting
nut straight.
his nut straight.
He needs running twos now, and he's
Running
not going to
towards
get it.
Queen not gonna do it, but it can chop a pot if a jack shows up.
River cards of
No
4.
help.
Player
Four
Let's
of
give it up for
diamonds
Lester
is what
Edoc.
comes out in the
Going
river.
up fifth
Cortez
place for
wins
this fifth leg.
185,000, and Lester Edoc is out in a hurry.
He's gone. I don't even
Now
see him anymore.
we
I
have
think he
four
was
pairs
gone
remaining.
after the flop.
So Lester Edoc will finish in 5th place. He will still take home 40,000 pesos for his weekend's work. At least he's got a smile on his face. Goodbye, Lester Edoc, and we are down to 4 players here at the
Sir, Ernie, can I
PPT.
get 4,000 for the ante?
Augie Nasser of Davao very much in command, but you do not want to count out Ernie Batalia. He still has a chance to get those chips back. Nejad, well, he's 3rd stack, but he still is in it mathematically. Cortez needs to make his move very soon.
I'm Augie Nasser, 28 years old. Currently just playing poker for the meantime, and I'm from Davao City. Before, I used to play billiards. I was studying culinary arts. Then shifted to full-time playing poker. Yung friend ko na na blockmate ko, tinuruan ako spinach carbonara. Yun, kahit pa paano alam ko. So paghahanda dito sa tournament, medyo nagbawas ng puyat, nagpahinga para medyo fresh yung mind o yung sa line-up na to sa final table, chip leader or no chip leader, talagang threat. Kung pwede lang sana tayo lahat mag-champion, pero kailangan natin laruin. And then winning this tournament, it's not really about the money, but the prestige.
Hi, I'm Ron from the Asia Poker Academy, and you may have heard of the term putting someone on a hand. I want to talk to you about that. Let's look at this board, 7, 8, 9. Now let's say someone moves all in. What kind of hand could we be up against? We could be up against aces. We could be up against a made straight. We could be up against a set of 9s. Or we could be up against a draw. So which of these hands do you think our opponent has? Welcome back. I'm Ron from the Asia Poker Academy, and before the break, we were trying to put our opponent on a hand. Now look at this board, 7, 8, 9. What hand could our opponent have after he moves all in? If you answered aces, 10 jack, pocket 9s, or just flush draw, if you answered any single one of these hands, then you're not thinking about the game properly. The way to think about the game properly is to look at all the possible combinations that your opponent could have. Look, you're not psychic, and if you are, I don't know any psychics, but if you are, then you know that I don't know any psychics, and you know what I'm going to say next, which makes this segment pointless. But the point I'm trying to make is that you want to put your player on a range of hands, not just a single hand, but a range of hands. That way, you are more adept at dealing with how he plays. You cannot put a player, remember, on an exact hand unless he actually shows it to you. So practice looking at all the possible combinations before you make a decision. That is putting a player on a range of hands and not just on a hand. So try not to put a player on a specific hand. I don't know any psychics, chances are you're not, but if you are, you knew I would say that anyway.
Now Carlos Cortez has had a bit of a purple patch here. He's picked up some chips and now has more options.
It's been a very easy game for him. Shove, no callers, and now he's got a lot of chips in front of him, and he's been very active, and he keeps at it.
King, queen, offsuit, all in from Batalia, ace, queen.
Well, Ernie's had enough. He's had to give up a few blinds to
Queen.
Carlos, and now
Well,
he
call
makes a
Carlos
stand.
and
He's got
Ernie.
the better hand once again.
Ace, queen,
Nemesis
king,
is
queen.
all in, all his chips in the middle, and
Carlos
he is
dominated.
behind.
Flop.
Batalia, a big
Flop is a
favorite,
king,
and it's a
5 and
king.
4.
He was behind.
Carlos is now
is
He
what
was
I meant
behind
to
until
say.
that.
He was behind until the flop,
cards
and now he is
and
so
eight
far
cards.
ahead. Ernie can just hope for one of the 3 aces,
Ernie
or
catches
he is
a
suddenly
nut flush
out.
Or a heart.
Heart
That's a
would be
river
good
card.
too.
He has the nut flush draw, but the 3 of spades isn't
River
gonna
card for
help him.
3.
And wow, just like Lazarus,
Ernie
Carlos
will be
Cortez
number 4.
has
Winner
risen
fifth
from
leg. Let's give it
almost
up
sure
Ernie,
defeat
the
to
Ninja
take out
Batalia.
Ernie Batalia.
We came into the break, and he was the short stack, and then he just went hand after hand, taking pot after pot. Finally gets a call, doubles up, takes a guy out.
Lines, please.
And this is where we stand. Augie Nasser still in the chip lead. Carlos Cortez has run a good streak of luck here as 1.1 million. Don't write off Gesam Nejad just yet. Finishing 4th is Ernie Batalia. He takes home 45,000 pesos. Only 3 remain in contention for that seat in the Clash of the Titleists, where a seat in the WSOP main event will be on offer. It's an all-in from Danny Nejad with ace-8 offsuit.
A bit of an overbet, but aggressive play is rarely the wrong play. But he might get called here. There is 1.1 in the stack of Carlos, and he's looking at 400,000. There is an argument for calling, and that if he takes him out, it's a big jump in the payout.
Carlos Cortez with pocket 9s. That's a very strong hand with only 3 players.
Well, it's a great hand to call a short stack with, that's for sure. A lot of short stacks will shove with a bunch of smaller pairs, which he would be a mile ahead of. And he's not in bad shape against this one, ace-8. Although he doesn't know it yet, he's still trying to figure out. And he's figured it out.
He's gonna make the call. Pocket 9s against ace-8. Nejad needs to get lucky, but it seems all the luck's going Cortez's way in this final table.
I've been calling him Nemesis so much
Let's see a
that he's
flop.
become everyone's nemesis. He's taking people out now.
The flop.
Flop is
Queen
deuce,
2
six.
6.
Carlos is still ahead.
Nothing there. It's an orphan flop.
Let's see a turn card. Turn card's a 5.
5
Oh,
of
help for
clubs.
Danny.
No new outs for Danny. He has
now
to
the river
will
card.
that ace on the river.
River card's a
He's
3.
not gonna get it. It's a 3 of clubs. And Carlos Cortez has taken
And
out
Danny
yet
will be
another
eliminated
player,
at
Danny
number
Nejad
3. Let's
from
give it up
Iran.
for Mr. Danny.
It's been a brave
Nehal.
stand for him. He
Great
finishes
game.
3rd
That
place,
will be
62,000
Take a
pesos.
short break to the position.
And he will not be a champion. Well, there's another former champion, Dexter Luna. He is a very interested spectator as we lose Danny Nejad. And this is where we stand with 2 remaining here at the PPT. Carlos Cortez with 1.8 million in chips. Augie Nasser not too far behind, 1.6 million in chips. A big hand can change everything here as we go to our final 2.
The race is on for the next championship title, so who will be our Philippine Poker Tour Leg 5 winner? Find out when we return. Poker fans, it does not get better than this because right now we have only 2 players remaining out of the 171 players since day 1 of leg 5 of the Philippine Poker Tour. And with me right now are the current champions from previous legs. And we have here first Mr. Dexter Luna. Now, Dexter, I know that you are really ready for what's to come. And how does it feel to be part of the Tournament of Champions, being just 1 step away from the World Series of Poker?
Well, actually, winning the first leg, it's really overwhelming. Even up to that, it was just like winning it yesterday. So I'm pretty much sure that the other champions here are also very eager to go to the final table, the Battle of the Champions. And, well, it's anybody's game when that time comes. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, Rebel Magdagasang, sir. Kayo naman po. You've been here since day one of the 5th leg of the Philippine Poker Tour, watching these two go up against each other. So who do you think is going to win this?
It's very hard to tell basing on the performance they've been showing us from the very start of the final table. I think it can go either way. They both have almost the same chip stack, and both players are playing solidly. So I hope the best man wins tonight.
I'm sure it's going to be a tough one. We're going to see who's going to join this elite club, but first we have to ask Mr. Martin Corpus. Now, sir, since you are one of the most decorated of the bunch, what is your message to the next person who's going to join you?
First of all, I want to congratulate these two players. Sure, they beat a tough field today, and may the best player win. And I hope they join us on the Tournament of Champions. And for me, I don't care if I win or I go in a World Series of Poker. No matter what happened to me, win or lose, I'm playing it anyway. Thank you.
Okay, guys, I'm sure you're as excited as I am and as curious as who's going to win. Everyone is taking sides, and it's time to find out which side will win this all. Let's give it back to Bob and Ron.
Now let's get right into it. We'll turn you now over to our tournament director, Raymond Papa Bear Gamier.
And here are your final two players, Augie Nasser and Carlos Cortez. Good luck, gentlemen. Tournament dealer, please shuffle up and deal.
Lines now impossibly high, 20,000, 40,000, and it is Cowboys for Carlos Cortez, and you love to see them, especially in heads up.
Well, I like to look at people's mouths when they make a bet. Mouth slightly parted indicates strength. Lips that are pursed really tight indicate weakness. And he was making that bet. Well, I don't know if Augie caught it, but what he did catch is a hand that he can defend with. 8-9 suited.
King's way ahead here. Nasser calls.
We are on the way to some kind of hand here.
Flop is 2-9-2, two diamonds, and Nasser checks with his top pair.
This is great news for Carlos. The Kings are still ahead. He hopes Nasser hit the 9 because he wants to get called here. He's going to make some kind of bet, something he needs to get action from.
And he's going to send out 180,000.
A bit on the large side, but it is going to get action. Nasser's not going to lay down a 9. You don't call 8-9, hit a 9, and then fold.
In heads up, especially.
Well, that second stack is also not a bad move here from Augie. I mean, we know Carlos has 2 kings, but he could have ace, king, or any number of hands that missed the flop. He could end it right here now with this re-raise, take it down.
Augie Nasser's re-raised almost half a million. There's an all-in from Cortez and a call from Nasser.
Quick call from Augie. Now, wait a second. You gotta think about what goes over the top of you after you've re-raised. There are a lot of hands that Carlos could have that you beat, but you have to start thinking about the hands he has. Tens, jacks, queens, kings, ace, king of diamonds.
He could have gone in there with ace 2. You know?
Well, the slight possibility, but you have to at least consider the possibility that your 9 is no longer any good.
Turn is an ace of hearts, the rivers, a 3 of clubs, and Carlos Cortez's kings will hold up, and he wins a colossal pot of 2.92 million.
Big hand, big payout. I mean, what more can you ask for? You get it in good. You get all of his chips in the middle, and he's drawing very, very slim there. Wow, I mean that's how you want to get kings. You want to get it paid off.
Here's where we stand. Cortez is way ahead. What does he need to do to knock out Augie Nasser?
Well, he can keep doing what he's doing. The three of my favorite words from the poker playbook: keep it simple. Get a good hand, stick it in. Bad hand, slow down.
Now, Augie Nasser has a bit of a mountain to climb because Carlos Cortez has a stranglehold on this tournament. He's got one hand on that title for sure. Queen 4 from Augie Nasser, and he's gonna move all in with just short of $1 million in chips.
He's not even willing to play post flop.
Oh! Carlos Cortez has him dominated. This could be it.
It's a good call. It's a quick call. And it's the right call. And what else could you ask for here? He's got him dominated.
Dominated by Carlos
Cortez.
This could be the end right here.
Absolutely.
Really caught with a lousy hand.
77% favorite. 10 King Jack. Oh my goodness.
Just to make it exciting, an open-ended draw for the underdog in this hand.
Carlos
Nasser almost 20% now chance of winning this hand. He needs a 9 and he gets a 9.
Wow.
An ace would have helped him as well.
How about that for keeping it simple? I mean, go all in with any 2 cards and catch it straight on the turn.
Does Cortez have any chance to get back? What does he need?
He needs to see that queen or another heart. Quite a number of outs here, and that's not it.
That's not one of them. Augie Nasser. It's a stay of execution for him. He was a big underdog, but he picks up the straight on the turn with the 9 of spades.
We've seen this before earlier in this final table when Augie went for the lazy version of the bullying play when he shoved 2.1 million when he had ace-10. But that was ace-10. This time it's queen 4 offsuit, and he had close to $1 million in chips. He wasn't in terrible shape. To me, it was just a lazy play that worked out for him. He was trying to get momentum back, steal that blinds, assert some force, and take control of the game. Turns out he got called. He was in awful shape, but he pulled it out, and now he's doubled up. He's actually got more chips than Carlos now. So what a swing.
And the complexion of our heads up has completely turned now with that very big hand. Augie Nasser is once again right back on top of Carlos Cortez in our chip count with almost 2 million in chips. Carlos Cortez with 1.5. There's everything to play for.
My name is Carlos Cortez. I'm 37 years old and I'm a call center manager. Well, I run from time to time and just mostly play with the kids and online playing as well in poker, so that takes up a lot of my time too. I've gotten to poker just by watching TV. It was first shown. You know, I just love the concept of people winning without cards, and it was psychological warfare. So I guess it's all the fault of Phil Ivey and Gus Hansen. That's why I'm continuing to play poker even today. For the final table today, got drunk and made sure that I got lots and lots of rest, and did my prayers, and so I'm ready to go. Well, it's not about me watching out for them, it's about them watching out for me, because I've got nothing to lose at this point.
Of course, when you're playing heads up, the number one rule is you got to be the aggressor.
Well, they've taken turns being the aggressor. Both of them differently. One with an awful hand, one with a great hand. So knockdown for each of them. Couple of 10-8 rounds, and we're back where we started.
Out of the dealer button, Augie Nasser raising with just 7-6. Cortez, Jack 5. These are terrible hands at a big table, but you can play with them. And he's just going to call. We're going to see a flop. And 8, 10, and 6. There is something here for Augie Nasser. As they check down, and we're going to see a turn 9.
A bit of good news, bad news, Bob. Good news for Carlos. He picked up an open-ender that he can bet on. Bad news, Augie already has this straight, so he's waiting for that bet. And here it comes.
Nasser at 84% favorite. Carlos Cortez. He's going to bet 140,000.
Call.
And Nasser is just going to call this.
Smoothly call, and he's gonna let Carlos either hang himself, bet himself down, or he's gonna let him catch up.
River card is a 10 of hearts.
A little scary because it pairs the board, but doesn't really change anything. Augie should still be pretty much calling any bet that Carlos makes here. Carlos can only bluff because he missed his draw. He has,
200.
I don't
Call.
know that he can represent that 10. So he's going to get instantly called there. Augie has a straight and will take this down.
Of course, when the board pairs, you worry about the full house, don't you?
It's always there. The full house. Did he hit the nines? Did he pair nines?
Augie takes down that
But
bottom.
he's got to call at least.
Nasser now wins 850,000 and he pads his lead a little bit more as we go into the deep waters here of our heads up. Carlos Cortez still wants to battle back blinds 20,000, 40,000. King Jack very strong in heads up. Augie Nasser, what's his move from the dealer button, which is also the small blind in heads up? He's going to raise to 100,000. Jack 8 from Carlos Cortez.
You can't roll over and die. If you're Carlos, got to at least
Call.
defend, see a flop, and play it from there.
Sub.
And Nasser has dominated him.
That's
Oh, it's a
awful.
jack.
I mean, good news, bad news once again for the story of the life of the heads-up game of Carlos Cortez. He hits top pair. Bad news, Augie has a better kicker. And if you get too crazy with your top pair here, this could be it.
Cortez has checked, and there's a bet of 180,000. Cortez trying to slow play. Are we going to see a repop here maybe from Carlos?
Well, he had to check to the razor. Definitely,
All in.
Augie was going to bet with or
All
without a
in.
jack. And here's the play.
There's the call.
All in.
Right. Carlos
Wow, and Carlos Cortez is not going to like this. His top pair is no good. What does he need to somehow stay alive against Augie Nasser's top pair, second best kicker?
Let's look at the possibilities. He could get an 8 in the turn, or you could have running sixes, running threes, a bunch of running cards.
Five of clubs is nothing.
It doesn't help one bit. He needs an 8 now. That's the only thing that can help him here.
The river card.
Let us see the river card.
Is a queen of hearts, and Augie Nasser is your champion of PPT Leg 5.
Congratulations, Carlos.
His King Jack is gonna win it. Carlos Cortez finishes second and takes home 160,000. And he played a fantastic tournament, but Augie Nasser is the guy, when the dust clears, who is our champion.
And this champion will be sitting with the other champions in March to figure out who is the best, who will represent our country to the World Series of Poker.
We have the second Davaoenyo champion in the PPT. The first one, of course, Rebel Magdagasang. And Augie Nasser, a deserving champion. And Carlos Cortez, a brave stand, but it's not enough. Nasser wins it all. Well, we started off leg 5 of the Philippine Poker Tour with 171 hopefuls, and now we have produced a very worthy champion in Augie Nasser. He is the 5th winner here on the Philippine Poker Tour, and he will be joining the rest of the champions in our Tournament of Champions. But first, let's turn you over now to Ron Regis, who is with our runner-up, Carlos Cortez.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Carlos, you came into this final table with hardly a stack. No stack, but you had a plan. What was the plan?
The plan was, just making sure that I take it one card at a time, pick the right spots, and, if the opportunity presented itself, then I would just go for the kill.
You sure had a lot of opportunities. You went from almost no stack all the way to second place. You weren't even introduced in the first part of the tourney, but now they all know your name. Congratulations for a great tourney.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we are with our champion, Augie Nasser. Congratulations. Anong masasabi mo? You had the lion's share of the chips going into the final table. What was your strategy?
I just played my best, do my best in the final table, and hope to win, and I did.
Augie, you sucked out with the Queen 4. What were your thoughts on that hand?
I had an open-ended draw on the flop, but he had a nut flush draw, and if I hit my queen, he would have a straight, so I hope for the best and hit my 9 or an ace. So that's it, except for a heart.
Okay, we now have two champions, along with Rebel Magdangasang, from Davao. What do you have to say about that? And are you proud of that?
Yes, I'm proud to be from Davao, and we Davaoenos play good.
Okay, obviously you do. Now I'd like to turn you over for the presentation of a special gift and to induct you into this elite circle of champions, the chairman and founder of the Philippine Poker Tour, Mr. Jojo Aliado.
Thank you, Bob. Before we go to the awarding of the prize, I'd like to thank everyone who came over to watch the final table and all the games and the side events. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for your continued support to the Philippine Poker Tour. We're doing our best to add some more activities and events to make it more an enhanced league for the Philippine poker players. My congratulations to you, Augie, and your prize for winning the 5th leg is a seat to the Asian Poker Tour Manila Series, which starts tomorrow. Congratulations, Augie. Well deserved.
Okay, I have this. Okay, and now we have a few words from our gracious host, of course, the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club. They've been a great host all week long. And to represent them, a few words from the managing partner, Mr. Manesh Merchandani.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you all here. Once again, congratulations to the second runner-up, Mr. Carlos Cortez, and Mr. Augie Nasser for winning first place during the 5th leg of the PPT Tour here at the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club. Once again, we would like to invite you all to come over and try your luck here and see where you land.
Thank you very much. And of course, we want to say a special thanks to our tournament director, Papa Bear Gamier. Okay. And now, Ron, your final thoughts on this great final table and this very exciting heads up.
Well, it was a great final table all the way down to the last two, and there was a lot of action going back and forth. It was a contrast of styles really in the heads up, but in the end, some things are decided by the cards, some things are decided by the players. So we had a little bit of both all the way.
On behalf of the entire staff here of the PPT, thank you for watching us here on Solar Sports. Good night, Bianca.
We would like to congratulate our newest addition to the elite circle of champions, Mr. Augie Nasser, who has been the chip leader since the beginning of the final table, and he will also be playing for that seat in the World Series of Poker Main Event 2013. Please do follow us at www.thephilippinepokertour.com and watch us in our next leg in Pampanga. This has been Bianca Saldua here at the Midas Touch Poker Sports Club, and on behalf of all of the hardworking men and women of the Philippine Poker Tour, good night.